Hi guys, and welcome back to another Dream Team stream. I hope you're all well. Want to say firstly thanks to everyone who voted for me in the Football Content Awards. It's just been amazing. Thank you so much. I was not expecting to get the bronze at all. Didn't even know there was a tiering system. So yes, very, very grateful for that. Thank you all so much. And as if I didn't think this week could be any more amazing, then, to have the founder of Fantasy Football Scout, Mark Sutherns, on, it's just amazing. So we'll get Mark in just a moment. But before we do that, let's take a look at how we did choosing the Dream Team players for last game week, so the Kings of the Game Week. And we had Derek from Rebel FPL on. Well, unfortunately, it didn't go so well. We only got one guess correct, which isn't brilliant, got to admit. So we got 59 points, of course, on this stream. Points don't really matter in respect that we're only trying to get the top players as opposed to the best amount of points. So we had Johnston, who didn't get us any points. Justin with 2 points. Fafana with 2 points. Obviously that Leicester defence letting us down quite a lot there. We had Cancelo, who got us the 6. Jota with just the 1 point. I can feel the pain there because I had him in as well. Pulisic, he did okay. He got us the 8 points. Fernandez with 6. De Bruyne is the one who made it in with the 14 points. We had Bamford with 8. Jesus with 4 as our captain. And Vardy with his 8. So, not very much to talk about on the bench. I know we like to include them if we get anything there, but unfortunately we didn't. So let's just take a quick look at how the Kings of the Game Week shaped up. So it was Keller with 7, Matic with 14, Vestergaard with 9, Zuma with 8, Zaha right up there with the 18, the top scorer of last game week. Who'd have thought that? I think I might have mentioned him, but yeah, it's one of those ones that you have to be quite brave to go with. De Bruyne obviously was our one person who made it through with 14. Salah with his 14, Son with 13, Sterling with 13. So the Holy Trinity, as Mark will know all about, doing quite well there. Benteke with 13 and Kane with 13. So just say a quick hello to some people in the chat. Thanks to everyone for joining us. FPL Focus is in the chat, and we've got Glenn Kitely. We have the Black Box in. Hi guys. Drazira, hope you're all doing well. Yeah, I hope you're all ready to get going and choosing another dream team. We have tips and FPL arrows. Welcome to all of you. I hope you're all good. Let's head on over then and get Mark in. Hi Mark, how are you doing?
Hello, I'm good, very good. I've had the day off, been Christmas shopping, that didn't go too well.
Not so good, I hear.
There's plenty of time, it's all right. I'm not panicked on that score.
You haven't ticked a lot of things off that Christmas list.
No, I'm pretty good at getting other people presents and stuff, but the kids in particular, but it's the grown-ups I'm struggling with.
Yeah.
They're more difficult, and I was trying to buy myself a few things, that didn't go very well either, but I won't go into that. But let's put it this way, lockdown hasn't been kind to me and my waist size, so yeah, never mind. Let's not dwell on that. Hopefully my game week's going to go better than my Christmas shopping though, and hopefully this will as well. I've got one player to beat. I haven't got much to live up to then, based on what you did last week. It was just De Bruyne. So
yeah, just the one from last game week. So yeah, you don't have an awful lot to live up to there.
That. I can't promise much more than that, but we'll see how we get on.
Yeah, well, it's that's what this is all about. It's a bit of fun. So I'm not sure if you're aware, but my nan, or my nonna as I call her, has given us this team. She's a massive football fan and she loves the football, but she's not very tech savvy. So I said to her, I have this idea, Nonna. I want to kind of set up a team and I want to get some guests on every week and get the community involved. Are you good with that? And every week I'll update you, and every week I'll give her a call after the dream team, and she watches the stream back on her little iPad, and she loves it. She absolutely loves it. So
right. Okay.
That's how we're able to kind of...
You're ramping up the pressure on me by the minute there with that stuff, but yeah, I'll try and live up to that.
Definitely. So before I just get into us choosing the dream team, I, for one, was one of those people that was quite gutted when when you took a step back from Scout, because I've always been quite a big fan. So it's great to have you back in the, in the community and creating content this season as one half of the Black Box. How are you finding it to be back?
Oh, loving it being back. I mean, I'm back doing it, not as a business. It's not paying my mortgage anymore. And it's just for fun. It's kind of how it kind of started.
Yeah.
When I started doing content about 11 years ago, it was just a hobby, and it was just like, oh, let's see if anyone comes and reads it. And then the interaction with people as they did was great. And then it started getting bigger and bigger. And as it got bigger, it became, I don't know, it started taking over a bit. And also you get some people who aren't so quite nice about what you do, and then you have to deal with that. And, that's obviously, social media wasn't a thing then. It was all happening on the site itself. So,
yeah,
it happens as things grow, doesn't it? And it became successful and stuff. So, and then, Chris got involved and it became a business, and then it started getting really out of control, and we did things with the Premier League. I ended up on TV. I was like, what's going on here?
How did this happen?
I know, I did love my day job. I work in the video games industry, and so I didn't really want to give that up to do the fancy stuff. But of course, I was incredibly fortunate and lucky, so I couldn't look the opportunity, couldn't turn it down. So, I went for it. I had a brilliant time, and met and worked with some amazing people. There's still some great people there, and I'm very proud of setting it up and what it became, and it's very proud of watching it grow from this point on as well, with Chris and the team doing a great job. But for me, I just wanted to get back into fantasy, and it not to matter. It's not life and death to me anymore. It's just what it
a lot less pressure on yourself.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, when you've got your game week team and you have a bad game week, and then you go, oh my god, on Monday yes. I've got to do a Facebook Live to the FPL, the official FPL site.
I know the feels.
It's not very nice, and
it's not fun.
No, and to be honest, I did all right that first. I mean, I did better than all right that first season doing it. I was lucky there, so it went okay then. But it just pressure grew, and it was too much, and I wasn't seeing my kids and my family.
It's almost worse when you're doing well, I feel, as a content creator to some extent, because people then expect so much of you, don't they? They expect all the answers. That can be quite hard.
They expect you to be a genius, and of course nobody is. I mean, there's methods you use to do well, and most people don't really know how they do well. I don't. Sometimes when people ask me, and I remember when Josh Ball, who won it last year, was asked, "Oh, why did your season go so well?" He was like, I don't really know. And that sums it up sometimes. Yeah. So, it's no one has all the answers, but let's try and give some answers in this show, and see if I can do better than one king of the game week.
Okay then. So let's do it. Let's crack on with choosing the dream team for next game week, or the 1 week wildcard as we like to call it. So, Mark, the guest always gets to go first and choose the first player. So
I'm going to pick, don't you? You know it.
Well, you did kind of tweet it last night, so
last night. Oh God, what a nightmare this is. The thing is, I had it all settled. I was on the official podcast yesterday, and they asked me what I was going to do, and I said, I'm going to do Bamford in for Calvert-Lewin, and Salah in for Bruno, and I've got all this plan in place to go, right, I'm going to juggle that one slot, and Salah's going to become maybe Sterling or Mahrez, and then it will go back to Bruno. Lovely plan. And then I said at the end of the podcast, but obviously that might change if Salah turns up on the team sheet tonight, thinking, what are the chances? And, not only did he turn up on the team sheet, he played 90 minutes.
I know.
What
a nightmare.
What do you make of that? What are you feeling about it?
I mean, I was thinking of getting him in myself, and I have been Salahless since I got Bruno in, and so I have been, sat through last game week without Salah was not fun, and I don't own KDB either, so it's been a nightmare basically since I had to sell Salah during that whole, incident of him missing out, and then the money's got spread everywhere else for everyone else. and then
it's harder, isn't it?
It is harder, because then you're obviously trying to kind of gain it back from other places again, that which I think I tweeted out the other day, where I was like, can I just get back my team that I had 3 weeks ago? Because I had Danny Ings before he got injured, and so then I moved to Kane, which obviously took up quite a lot of my extra budget that I had, and then obviously Salah meant I moved to Bruno, and then I had no extra cash to play with to get KDB in, and so I got Jota, and now I've got this lovely 5-man midfield of Grealish, Bruno, Son, Jota, and Mahrez, because I got him in. I didn't do, because I really wanted to captain Son. I'm not even going to lie to you. I'm an Arsenal fan, but I just felt like Spurs were going to walk all over us. I just, knowing the North London derby, knowing how Spurs are at the moment, I just thought they were going to walk all over us.
Fair enough, I did too, so that's fine.
But I just I chickened it. I got onto Twitter, and I saw how many people were going with Bruno if they didn't have KDB, and I didn't have KDB, so I thought I ought to go with Bruno as well. And so I went with the safe option, I guess, in terms of numbers, rather than following my gut. But no, I wasn't quite brave enough on the Mahrez captain, thankfully.
Yeah, the Salah thing's pretty awful. It's like, it's almost like like you split up with your ex, and they're going to be at a party, and you think, no, I'm going to be fine. I can handle it fine. And then the first time you see him, you go, oh God, I feel awful. That's how it was when Salah scored that goal at Brighton. It was disallowed. I was thinking, no, I'm going to be all right about Salah. And then he ran through, scored that goal, and I was like, oh God, that felt awful. I was like, I've got to go and sit down.
I hate this.
Having him is horrible.
I want him back.
Yeah, exactly. I can't be without him. So it was all the plan until last night, and then the demons started creeping in.
Yes. Well, I think from what Klopp said in his kind of little post-match interview, it does sound as though he was trying to give him minutes so that he could get into match fitness, at least. But it's one of those interpretations that could go either way. Yes.
Now, there was an article out, and I've read that about Liverpool in the red zone, and I can see the theory. And I must admit, having slept on it, I woke up this morning feeling a little bit better about it all. I read a few more tweets. I stayed off Twitter in the main, but so I can make my own mind up. But then I am leaning more towards getting him in now, and more towards the fact he starts. And I think we have to have him, so let's have him as the first player.
Let's do it.
But I do feel there is still some concern.
Yes, I know. I'm concerned as well. But the biggest thing that's caused me problems, which anyone who follows me knows, I'm a massive Aguero fan, and him coming on last night and scoring has made things a little bit more difficult, because of course if I down Vardy and get in a Bamford or Wilson and then upgrade Mahrez to Salah, which was the plan this week, it then does use up all of my budget, and I then can't get to Aguero, which is bad times.
Aguero for West Brom it's interesting.
It does, but KDB is likely the safer option. So
if he starts, it could all go with that as well. We're going to have this over Christmas,
I know.
I think, hopefully it's all a red herring and everyone's fine and everyone starts.
We
always do this every year. We always build up rotation, and it never really hurts us as much as we think. But
that's true. That's very true.
So we'll have Salah in. Go on.
Who would you like to trade out for Salah? So at the moment, we have Pulisic, De Bruyne, Fernandes, Armstrong, and Jota in midfield.
Fernandes has got to go. I don't think United will score against City.
Okay.
I don't see it. I think that'll be. I don't think it'll be a free-flowing game, but I think City dominate possession, and I don't think United will lay a glove on them. I think it's going to be 1-0, 2-0 City is my thinking. So I don't back Bruno. And the transfer that I would make to get Salah in my team would be Bruno out for Salah. So let's do that.
Okay, that is a done deal. Oh my gosh, thank you so much to Connects T Sun for the super chat. He said, "Good evening, folks. I trust you're well. Admittedly, first stream I've seen set aside. Feels right. Only Arsenal supporter I'll ever support." Thank you very much. Okay, so Salah is in for Bruno. So I guess now it is my pick. And this week, I am going to go, because I like to go a bit out there, but not too much out there. I'm going to go with Danny Ings. So he had 2 shots in the box, 2 on target, and 1 attempted assist, and 1 goal from a penalty last game week. So he's back, and I think he'd be a really good pick for the Dream Team against Sheffield United. I think Saints have played them 6 times and won 3, something like that. 2 draws and 1 loss. So I did a tweet last night because somebody was talking about captaining Che, and Che scored a brace in that game, and Southampton won 3-1, if I remember correctly, with a Danny Ings penalty. So I think I'm going to get in Danny Ings.
Right.
So
is he fit though? So I mean, a lot of people said he didn't look on it when he came on, but I mean, if he is fit, then it's a great pick, because I do think Southampton are going to give Sheffield United a bit of a lesson, because I've got some Southampton players in mind as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Ings is fine. A fully fit Ings will do well against Sheffield United.
So who do we get Ings in for? Because at the moment I've got Bamford, Vardy, and Jesus. I was thinking Jesus, but
that's a no-brainer.
Okay.
Yeah. Jesus will play against United, but you know, there's so many other players who can score for the City in there. So
yeah, there we go. Okay then, so let's get into the community and the chat and choose a goalkeeper. So Matt, if you had your wild card this week, who would you go for a goalkeeper? Do get involved, chat. Let us have some names of which goalkeepers you would go for this game week if you could choose any game week against any team. Do let me know in the chat and we'll choose one. But Mark, what's your thoughts?
I'd go with Darlow, Carl Darlow for me.
Oh, okay.
Obviously been the form keeper in terms of saves. And he's an ex-Forest player, and I'm a Forest fan. I did like Darlow when he was at Forest. He was a great shot stopper there, but he's got better. He's got more commanding in the box now. He looks more assured. I think he's going to... I mean, to be honest, I don't think England are blessed in the goalkeeper department at the moment, so I don't think Darlow's too far off getting in the squad. And the fixtures are good for Newcastle over Christmas, and he's got West Brom. And I'm sorry, West Brom are like... I think they've had about 2 or 3 big chances all season.
Yeah.
I mean, and Newcastle actually, they in terms of big chances, I think they've only conceded a big chance every 73 minutes. I've got the black box stats on my screen here, so I'm giving
good times.
Before, yeah, they've conceded a big chance every 73 minutes, which I think there's only 2 or 3 teams who are better than that. So they don't concede good chances. And to be honest, if West Brom are going to score, they're going to need a good chance. So I just don't see them scoring. So I'll go Darlow, I think, because Newcastle good for a clean sheet, and there's not a Newcastle defender I fancy. So I would have Darlow.
Yeah, Newcastle. I think they've played each other 22 times. So 11 wins to Newcastle in that time. So it's a good shout. What are thoughts on Pope maybe against Arsenal?
What, for save points?
Yeah, for save. Oh, I'm not even sure I see us scoring at the moment. That's how bad it is.
You don't think Arsenal are going to score against Burnley?
I mean, interesting fact. Burnley have never beaten Arsenal in the Premier League. So technically, we should be scoring, but it feels like it's that bad at the moment. So yes, for save points.
Arsenal will win that game. They will win that game.
If we don't, then we deserve to go down this season, is what I'm saying.
They will. Aubameyang will get on the score sheet.
He needs to start scoring for us. What are your thoughts on him? Do you feel like it's the whole contract situation now that he's signed? He's just dropped off of a cliff.
I don't think he's that kind of player, is he? I mean, I don't know him. I've never been for a drink with him, but I kind of get the impression he's a decent chap, and I don't think it's that. I just think tactically, Arsenal are not set up correctly. I think Arteta's wants to do things his way, and it's not necessarily working with the players he's got. And it's not suiting Aubameyang. And he's moving him from the left inside now. At least he's playing up front. And
Yes.
Inevitably, class will tell, and he will start scoring goals. But it's just the formula's just got to be right. And I think Arsenal will win against Burnley by a couple of goals, and I think we'll see Aubameyang on the score sheet. I mean, I'd quite fancy Aubameyang in this team, actually.
Oh, okay, interesting.
It's not going to happen if you think Burnley are going to keep a clean sheet.
Well, I don't make all the picks here.
Well, he's a left field option. He's not no one's going to have him this game week, obviously. But
yeah.
If we're trying to get some hits to pick,
it's a good shout. It's just my woes over Arsenal, I think.
I wouldn't go Pope. I don't think Burnley keep a clean sheet there.
Okay.
He'll get some save points, but
we've had some shouts for Meslier in the chat, and also McCarthy. So.
Yeah, I've got McCarthy. He'll get a clean sheet against Sheffield United, I think. And I think that West Ham, I think, will score though. I do think West Ham will score. Unfortunately, because I've got Ayling, so.
But most people agreeing with you there on Darlow, so I'll get him in.
Yeah, okay.
And we will move on to our defence. So at the moment we have Justin, we have Cancelo, Kilman, Fofana and Phillips. Now obviously we've been playing 3 at the back, hence the Kilman and the Phillips picks. So again, if you could have any defender this week, who would be your top pick? What are your thoughts on Trent? Just put that out there.
This is it. I would go Robertson, probably. I want to go Trent. I do want to go Trent. Maybe we should.
Because the Dream Team tends to curse players, and I have Robertson in my team.
I can get either Trent or Robertson in if I don't get Salah, and it is tempting. I mean, I think if I don't get Salah, it'll be one of them coming in, and I desperately want to go Trent because I want to think that he's fully fit and he's going to do something. I don't think he is. I mean, Robertson's the wiser pick, the safer pick, but let's go Trent because. Let's be crazy. I want one of the two in there, so let's go Trent.
And I'm assuming Cancelo, you said you don't think United will score, right? So should we be selling Cancelo or Cancelo?
I quite like Cancelo. I don't know if he starts. Walker started in midweek, so it would suggest that Cancelo is going to start, but I don't see it. I think Walker's pace is going to be needed against United, and I think it's just Pep.
Okay.
Rotating, and I think Walker starts. So I don't think Cancelo will start this one. Cancelo will start against West Brom. He's a very good pick for the West Brom game, which is why I'm keeping him. He's in my team at the moment. But yeah, I think we get him out for this one. So yeah, that's a fair trade. Let's go Trent for Cancelo.
Okay, we are going to have to drop Jota then, if we'd like to keep Phillips as our 4-mil option, just because we now have too many Liverpool players.
Yeah,
and it's
Jota
moaning at me.
we don't need Salah and Jota. I don't think Liverpool are going to win by that big a margin where you want to get 2 Liverpool attackers in. He says the man who's probably going to get Liverpool 2 attackers in. But,
yeah. So we've had some suggestions in the chat for Vestergaard over here on this stream. We call the guard of the vests, as he's called here.
He was the one defender I wanted in, actually, Vestergaard. Sheffield United at set pieces are woeful. Ramsdale is all over the shop, is panicking, and Southampton set pieces are top class with Ward-Prowse delivering them. So Vestergaard is a great pick. So I'd concur with that.
Okay, cool.
In, isn't he?
No, we didn't have him. He's actually been my consideration as my Robertson replacement for some time, because the main thing I'm struggling with in order to get the Holy Trinity is that extra bit of cash, and at the moment, of course, it's invested in Robertson. So with him just ticking away with clean sheets rather than any attacking threat, it's been quite difficult to have him sat there with, that much money tied up in him. But obviously with these nice fixtures now, it's also very difficult to shift him out.
It wouldn't be the time to get rid, I don't think.
No.
Held him this long.
You may as well see it through now for a couple more game weeks at least, I think, to see what happens. Okie dokie, so let's get in the guard of the vests. I'm taking Justin out for that one. Or should I? Actually, Fofana's more expensive, but I'm pretty sure we'll get rid of Justin anyway. Oh, somebody's at the door.
It is. Hold on.
And so I'll pop over to the chat while Mark sees to his to his visitor. So yeah, how are we doing, guys? Welcome everyone. Brian, Sensei, this is just a 1 week wildcard, buddy. So you know it's not long term. Don't worry. Obviously, if we were doing it more long term, we would have some of those players like Spurs and United and Chelsea. But obviously, it's just for this game week. So we have to just and choose who we think are going to do the best this week against their opposition. So FPL Lad is in the chat, welcome. Nahal, welcome. Brian, welcome. Migtavius, how you doing? How is everybody doing? And yeah, so thoughts on who we could get for Fofana. Hi Mark, you're back with us.
I'm back, yeah, that's all right. It's
just a delivery.
Yeah, that's fine. Right, what were you after? Another defender?
Another defender. So we've got Vestergaard, Trent, and I'm assuming possibly that we might want to play 3 at the back. So just anybody who's standing out really there for that third
any
spot.
price. Any price. Well, I want Reece James in.
Okay.
I think I don't see Everton scoring. Chelsea defence is too strong, and I think down that left-hand
So you don't see
side,
Calvert-Lewin nabbing something. That's interesting.
the Chelsea defence is too strong, and also I think Everton are toiling a little bit.
I'll be honest with you, he's on my bench at the moment, Calvert. Especially if I make that whole Bamford/Wilson and Mahrez switch for Vardy, then because I've got such a stacked midfield, it means I have to play 2 up front, and the only person I could think of dropping would be Calvert-Lewin. As you say, I have a Chelsea defender in Chilwell, so it just feels like the right thing to do. So
I think Everton have got problems at left back. Delph got injured in the last game. Reece James is a very attacking, quite a force down that right hand side. I don't know who's going to play on the right for Chelsea. It might be Werner, but either way, I think James is going to be a threat down the right-hand side for Chelsea, and I don't see Everton dealing with it. I think they're going to get a couple of goals from there. So I want Reece James in there.
So we've got a couple of shouts in the chat. We've got Lewis, Eric Dyer, Agbonna, a few names being chucked out there. So all good options. Maybe we might invest Kilman up to one of those options if we decide to go 4 at the back, but at the moment we have the option obviously to play Vestergaard, Trent and James, so I'm assuming we just keep Phillips and Kilman at the moment for price. Mark, sound good?
Yeah, let's have a look. I mean, let's get to the midfield and see how we see. I guess we're going to go 3-4.
Yeah, let's move on then. Pulisic, thoughts?
Not fit, is he?
No.
I mean, I guess it doesn't matter for one game week. We could risk it, and I do think Chelsea win the game at Everton.
Yeah.
But I've got my eye on another Chelsea attacker.
Ooh, okay, go on.
Well, I want Giroud up front.
Okay.
Giroud starts, right? And he's going to, for me, he's a threat. Every time he starts, he scores for them. And as I said, James is going to be a supply from the right-hand side. Everton are pretty strong in central defence. And, they've got players there who can deal with the aerial threat. But, I mean, Giroud likes it at Goodison Park as well. He's scored quite a few times there for Arsenal back in the day. So I think Giroud's going to be a good pick.
So who would you drop in that front line to bring Giroud in? Because we have Bamford and Vardy alongside Ings, and that they're quite good picks. Especially, I think Bamford is kind of the community pick, I would say.
Yeah,
this week. But another interesting fact, along with the Arsenal-Burnley one, having Burnley never beaten Arsenal, apparently Brighton have never beaten Leicester, so in the Premier League. So we've got two results that could go a bit skew-iffy this year. I mean, it is 2020. It would be interesting, wouldn't it?
Who knows? I mean, I just don't like Leicester. I don't know. Something just not right there. I think that Rodgers is a bit negative at times. Vardy's always a safe bet, of course, right?
Of course.
And may well get something out of the Brighton game. Personally, I'd rather have Giroud at Everton. I think Everton are going to win that by quite a margin.
Yeah.
I just think they've got threat all over the field, and Everton's defence is pretty woeful at the moment in terms of, they're letting a lot of chances through, and Pickford can't be relied on in goal. I think Chelsea get 3 or 4 goals at Goodison Park. Leicester will win by the odd goal against Brighton if they win at all. So, Giroud in for Vardy for me, and that frees up some cash, doesn't it? So
Simon's trying to call to my heart here. He just keeps putting Guerrero in the chat.
We're not ready for Guerrero.
We're not. Next week.
It's coming.
Next week. Yeah. We'll get him in next week. Okay, that's a done deal for me. I quite like that. I love that pick. It's out there. That's what this team is all about. I don't think you get many picks in the dream team by being safe, that's for sure. You have to do something a bit out there.
We could go Kane, but I was just like, I think Kane will do well. But
yeah, I mean, when doesn't Kane do well this season? Exactly. It's like a lot of my team did quite well last week. It wasn't my best game week, but they didn't do badly. But the second that, even though I had Son, the second Kane did something, I was just like, rank killer.
You can't really celebrate unless you've got both of them. You can't really celebrate returns for the one you have got, because you know that normally Kane's got setting up Son, or Son's getting up Kane, and it's just you don't get anywhere rank wise. You don't get anywhere when they combine and score, do you? Unless you've got them both. So
Okay, so we have a fair bit more budget going on now. I'm assuming we're going to keep Bamford where he is, so it's just really cleaning up this midfield and deciding whether we want to keep Pulisic or whether we'd like to go somebody completely different in that position. So difficult, isn't it?
I don't think we keep Pulisic.
Okay. We had a few shouts in the chat for Havertz while we were talking about Pulisic as a potential option. Obviously, Son's name has come up a few times. We have Armstrong at the minute, so I'm assuming he might want to go as well, although that Southampton fixture is nice, but Ward-Prowse is probably a better option, isn't he, with his 4 goals and 3 assists?
If we're going to back Southampton heavily, then Ward-Prowse is an option. I mean, have we got enough for De Bruyne? Because I think De Bruyne is going to do well at United. He always turns up a big game.
We already have De Bruyne in, so we're okay. We have De Bruyne and Salah. So the other three, the other 3 spots we've got to play with are Pulisic, Armstrong and Jota. Obviously, if we want to go 4 in midfield, then we could drop one of those positions to somebody a lot cheaper and use the money in the other 2. So.
Yeah, I mean, another name that I'm tempted by is Neto at Wolves.
Yes. He was on my list as well, actually. He looks good. But who do Wolves have this?
Got Villa.
What do we think on Grealish and Watkins there nabbing something?
It's a difficult game to call this, isn't it? Because you think it's pretty tight. I do think Wolves will sneak it. I think we're looking at something like 2-1. And I mean, Grealish will probably get an assist or a goal out of the game anyway, because he often is the key man for Villa and often the source of points. But I do fancy Wolves to win this one. I don't trust the Villa defence still. I still think they've got problems there.
Yeah, I think they've played each other like 10 times and it's been close every single time. It's like 4 wins to Villa and 3 wins to Wolves and 3 draws. So it's really close.
It's a derby of sorts, I guess, as well.
Yeah.
So Grealish always likes those, but I'm going to go. I think Wolves will win 2-1, and I think Neto's a good pick. I mean, he's cheap, isn't he?
Cheap as chips, yeah.
And if Wolves are going to score, he's normally going to be involved. I would say now that they haven't got Jimenez up front, he's got to be a source of goals and assists for them, and he has been to this point already, hasn't he? So I think Neto's a good one.
Cool. Okay, so we have 15.8 left for 2 positions. Or if we're probably going to be playing 3 up top. Although saying that, we do count the bench to some extent in our 1 week wildcard, because obviously if we've got the money to make a good team, we'd like to put them on the bench if they make the dream team, because it's just so hard obviously to choose a dream team, that then we do allow a little bit of leeway. So if you happen to manage to get somebody on the bench who did well, for instance, we'll count that as a win.
Might need it. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
So we got one more midfielder to pick.
Two more on 15.8 to play with. So
okay. What about Rafinha at Leeds? I like him.
Yeah.
And I do think Leeds win this game. I think there's going to be quite a few goals in it. I hope so, because it's a Friday night game. And he's the one that's picking up a bit of traction. Has Bielsa named his team, hasn't he? He's playing Rafinha, isn't he? I didn't actually check what Bielsa was named. I was so amazed at the fact he actually named his team.
Yeah, no, true. I only saw the headlines. I didn't. Yeah. Maybe somebody in the chat can let us know.
See it. I didn't register exactly. I saw that Aiden was playing. I was like, that's fine. He's my player. And I'm looking at Dallas as well. I'm thinking, oh, he's playing. But I think Rafinha's in there. The chat will tell us.
Yeah, if I've popped him in on the chance that he does make it in. So
but he looks very lively, and we've been thinking all season about which Leeds midfielder to go for: Harrison, Costa, Cleach. We haven't really been sold on any of them. I haven't anyway. But Rafinha could be the one. I think he's looks like he's got a threat. He looks just having that X factor about him, doesn't he?
Yeah, and the chat's saying that he's going to start, so he's in. So we have 10.4 to play with now. We have quite a lot for a midfielder, yeah. Or unless we want to take some of that cash and invest it into another defender, obviously. But yes, we do have 10.4 that we can play with.
Now, who haven't we backed that we think are going to win?
Who haven't we looked at?
We haven't got Spurs a cover at all. So Son is the obvious one, I guess.
Yeah.
Right. Let's see if we can be a bit more risky than that.
Yeah. Who else? We think we've got. Did we have? Yeah, we've got Chelsea cover in Giroud. What do we think on Zaha against, or do we think that Spurs defence is going to be pretty tight?
They win that.
Yeah,
I would say. I think it's difficult to look at Zaha getting much out of that game. We could, and Arsenal. I think Arsenal win, but we haven't got an Arsenal midfielder we can go with, really, have we? That's the problem.
No, I mean,
you're not going to go Willian, are you? So.
No, Saka would be my shout, but then it's just whether he rotates him or not. That's the concern with that. And yeah, I guess we could up a De Bruyne, for instance, to somebody if you want, like to Aubameyang if you wanted to, but then obviously we'd have to try and have to go with maybe a Tevez or something in midfield.
You know what? I'd completely forgotten Aubameyang as a midfielder. That shows me how I've completely removed him from my FPL mindset. We had him game week 1, and I'd completely forgotten to register the fact that he's a midfielder. Yeah, I think we should get Aubameyang in.
How much is he these days?
I don't know why, because I can't even say his name, but I think I would have him in there. What's he cost now? God. I think it's a great pick, because I think that Arsenal do win.
11.5, so we would have to find some cash somewhere else if we wanted him.
Right. Okay. So go through the team. What have we got?
Okay, 2 seconds. Let me put Aubameyang in so that we can look at it. So right now we need 1.1, and we've got Darlow, 5 million. Vestergaard 4.8, Trent 7.2, Kilman and Phillips in the 4 mils, James 5.3, Neto 5.6, De Bruyne 11.7, Salah 12.3 is that now, Rafinha 5.4, Bamford is 6.1 now, Giroud 6.7, and Ings at 8.3. If you would like, do you want to take Salah? We can, if you like. This is the batches or 1 week team.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, we're not saying he's not going to start. We're just saying he's not going to not score Aubameyang, which, why not?
Why not?
It's tempting for me to do that, because I do think De Bruyne does well at United. I think Salah will get something against Fulham, but I think Aubameyang will be a good pick to throw in there. I can see him getting a brace.
Yeah, wow. Well, Glenn likes that very much. Glenn can't leave everything
let's
else.
do it. Let's do the clickbait option and get Salah out, shall we? And then put Aubameyang in. So let's do that. Go on.
Cool. A couple of people saying sell Bamford because we have Rafinha already.
No, maybe.
Or we could go Salah to Son against Palace to free up the cash.
But it's a straight swap, isn't it? For a Salah to Aubameyang is a straight swap.
Okay.
And then we've got one slot to fill if we still.
Well, Mark Sutherns says so. That's what we do.
Well,
I love it. No, it's great. This is the kind of batch shizzle we love here on the Dream Team stream. These are the kind of picks I usually go for. So, and it's good because the Dream Team usually ends up cursing people. So if I am getting Salah this week, I could do without him being cursed. Okay, so we still have 11.2 to play with in a midfielder spot.
Right.
So we don't have any Liverpool cover right now, but again, that worry of Jota playing last night has kind of maybe ruled him out as a potential.
Let's just go Mane. Let's go Mane.
Can we afford him? 12 million.
No, we can't. Damn. We'd have to go Jota then, wouldn't we? We
would. We could get Fernandes back in. We do have Son obviously as a potential option.
A bit boring though, isn't
it? They're all a bit boring. We could Mahrez. Oh no, he played midweek, didn't he? Sterling. Have we got enough for Sterling? 0.2 off Sterling.
He never does well at United. I just don't see him being the. I think De Bruyne is going to be the one there.
Yeah.
Okay, well let's go Jota then. I think I'm okay with that. I think he starts.
Okay, well that's good. That's good to hear. I'll just quickly check the chat to see if anyone else has got any.
Yeah, see what they fancy. But it's a lot of money to spend. We don't have to spend it all, of course. I don't see this route.
Okay. What exactly are you guys doing with the minus 36? It's just a 1 week wild card. Don't panic. Yeah, they have a couple of suggestions. Obviously, doing Ings to Che as possible way to free up some cash. But I think we're okay. I'm pretty happy with that. We have 4.5 left in the bank. Would you like to invest it back in defence anywhere?
Yeah, why not? So we've got Kilman and
Phillips at the moment from Liverpool. Yeah,
we've got to upgrade those two, I think, or at least one of them. So who do we think is going to get a clean sheet in there as well? Let's see.
If I remember correctly, the chat seemed to think Spurs would do, so they said Dyer.
Let's Dyer or Region.
Region, yeah.
I think I pronounced that correctly.
I have. It's one of those ones, isn't it? It's quite a difficult one.
So can we afford Region as an elite first sub?
As a Phillips replacement, yes, we got 8.5, so we could have them, or a Leeds defender maybe in Dallas.
Yeah, Dallas or Alioski. Let's go Alioski. And Alioski and Region.
Let's see if we got enough for that then.
I think Alioski's
over to Spurs. And then to Leeds. Oh yeah, we got plenty. Leeds.
And then if we got any more money left to upgrade the other subs, let's go the whole hog. Let's have an expensive bench, shall we?
Wow, I think it would only be a goalkeeper.
Oh, would it? Oh,
yeah. So yeah, we got 2.6, so we could get an expensive goalkeeper to sit on the bench if you like.
Wow, I'm quite happy with Darlow. I think he'll do fine. So
cool.
We might go on.
Brilliant. Okay, well I will make the transfers and we can set up the team. It's only minus 40 this week, so it's not that bad.
What's the best score you've ever done with this then?
3. So it was Surge from Planet Pod, I think, when he came on and chose 3 correctly. Yeah, because they're so unpredictable. I mean, if we go back to who did well this week. I mean, whilst we saw a possible Liverpool clean sheet, we couldn't have guessed Matip. Choosing Zuma over one of the other Chelsea defenders, that could have gone either way. Whilst I had a feeling Zaha might do well, I didn't obviously think he would be the biggest point scorer of the game week for sure.
Benteke got we
and Benteke's in there,
I mean, I'd never think I'd see the like again. So I think we could be forgiven not predicting that one. So,
yeah, exactly. So it's just, like you said, it's just so out there, really. So who would we have in our starting 11 then? Let's see if we can choose the best starting 11 out of these guys. So we've got Darlow in. At the moment, we've got the first three defenders we chose, Vestergaard, James and Trent. Would you switch either of those out for Reguilon or Alioski?
I'm happy with all of those.
Cool. So at the moment, we have Jota, Neto, Aubameyang and De Bruyne starting. Would you switch Rafinha in for any of those?
I would, actually.
Yeah, which one?
I would take Neto out and put Rafinha in.
Okay. And then we're playing Bamford, Giroud and Ings up front. Yeah. So the next thing we have to do, whilst it doesn't really matter because we're not chasing points here, we always have just a bit of fun with our captaincy choice. So we've had some very interesting captaincy choices on this stream. Some very interesting ones. I think Vestergaard has actually been captain in this stream once already. So
did it come in? Did it work?
It didn't. I think he did well. I think he got a clean sheet, but he obviously, didn't kind of set the world alight. It wasn't one of his scoring game weeks, unfortunately. So get in the chat, guys. Who would you captain out of all of these just for this game week? Try not to make it the obvious. I'm going to guess if Mark thinks Aubameyang is going to score a brace, then you would possibly go with Aubameyang?
I think it's a good shout. I'd probably go with Aubameyang or Aubameyang and Giroud. Giroud would be.
Oh, Giroud, yes, of course he was.
My pick. I think he'll get a brace. I think Aubameyang will get a brace. So let's go Aubameyang. I would. That'd be my pick. Let's see what the community think.
Okay, cool.
Right, I mean, that's way out there, isn't it? I mean, I didn't even know he was a fielder again. So there we go.
I love it though.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, while the chat are getting that in, just get in one of those two choices, chat, and I'll count them up, or one of my mods will count them up, and will get back to me on which one wins it. But in the meantime, we'll just answer a couple of questions here. I know there was a couple of people asking some questions. Arash says, guys, a defender plus a midfielder for 14.2, please recommend.
Oh, blimey. Okay.
That's a tough one.
Defender and a midfielder for
40. Okay, so 14.2. It's hard to know really without seeing their team, isn't it? Who they already have, because my gut there would be to get somebody like a Son, for instance, and then obviously maybe a Chelsea defender in with the remaining.
You've got to have Grealish for the fixtures as well. I mean, I presume,
Christmas fixtures.
Look what he's got: Burnley, West Brom, Palace. I think there's plenty of points in it.
And a possible double game week in there too. Do you think that'll happen over Christmas?
Not over Christmas. It's going to happen around 18, 19.
Yeah.
But possibly he'll get one later in the season as well. He's got two though, hasn't he? He's got two.
Yeah, double. Yeah.
But it's just, he's going to start every game over Christmas. This is you've got to get players in who are going to be on the team sheet, and there's no rotation risk. So that's the first thing. I mean, if he hasn't got Grealish, then that's a given, I think. What else? Who else have we got in that? So how much have we got to spend? 14.
Yeah, 14.1. I think.
Prowse isn't a bad option either over the Christmas period, because again he's going to start every game, and they've got Sheffield United and Fulham over Christmas. Obviously Sheffield United next. I expect him to do well in both those games. Again, Arsenal away is not a tough game anymore, is it? Let's face it.
No, we do concede goals.
You don't want to admit that, but it isn't. Is it? So Ward-Prowse is another one. I would say he wants a defender, doesn't he? So let's see. Defenders over Christmas is a bit more tricky. I would certainly go a Leeds defender.
I mean, I
So
quite like any of the ones that we have in today. You know, Vestergaard has good fixtures. Chelsea, obviously, just because they know how to park the bus this season, and Trent or Robertson, really, if you had the money. If you were going to go for a Ward-Prowse in midfield with 14, then he'd probably have the
he's got
cash
enough.
for.
Yeah.
So
I would say, yeah. I think Trent and Ward-Prowse would be good picks for that money. Yeah.
cool. And Reyes, as our smart sevens, would you bring in Salah and Son for a -4 hit?
Would I bring Salah and Son in for a -4?
Yeah.
I don't know who are they getting rid of to do that. That's the
tough one.
That's the
Isn't
big
it?
question, isn't it? I mean,
It's a bit like when I used to work at the jewellery store and people used to come in to me and go, I'd like a gold something, please. And
just
I'd have to go, okay, a necklace, a bracelet, a ring. I don't know, my wife or my my other half just likes gold.
wasn't Mr. T wandering in for another chain?
It might have been.
I mean, the thing about Son and Salah is they're playing each other next week in midweek, and I don't like having players playing each other. So I do. I mean, obviously Salah at Fulham's a great pick. Son at Palace, yeah. Spurs will do a job on them. They'll probably win 2-0, or something around that, or maybe even 1-0. So it all depends who they're getting rid of, doesn't it? But
yeah.
I think in the long, over Christmas, Son and Salah play most games. I mean, even though the popular opinion is Salah will play at Fulham, I've got to think he's going to get a rest somewhere over these next 4 games.
Yeah, agreed.
I don't see him starting every single game over Christmas now that he's done 90 minutes last night. So you've got to think that he will probably miss the Palace game because it isn't going to be Spurs. And if we're saying that he plays against Fulham. So,
sorry, correction. It was Salah in for Son.
Oh,
so -4.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would probably do that.
Okay.
I would do that because it gives you the coverage of the captain, doesn't it, for the Fulham game, which is what we all fear, which is probably why I'm going to cave in and do it.
Yeah.
I do think, like I say, you've got to think that Salah will probably miss 1 game though for Christmas, so be wary of that. And I think it'll be the Palace game.
Okay, interesting.
If it's not the weekend, of course.
It
might be. I'm not saying, but we'll see.
Nahal has asked, thanks for the super chat, Nahal. Would you replace DCL with Watkins or Wilson? This is a tough one. You're thinking of switching him out this week, is that right? Or
for Bamford?
For Bamford, yeah.
It's a better bet, I think, because of the fixtures that Bamford's got.
Yeah.
Wilson's got good fixtures as well. I've just got a problem with Wilson.
I have a love-hate relationship with Wilson. Every season I get him, he either goes absolutely nuclear for me or absolutely terrible. So my favorite gif, and literally any members as well of the stream get to have a little Wilson icon badge if they join the members area, because literally I the amount of times I get to wheel out my favorite gif with the Wilson I'm sorry from Castaway is just, it's too often.
Yeah, he's a funny player, isn't he? I mean, when he was at Bournemouth I loved him and I always looked for a chance to get him in. Now he's at Newcastle, even though he's flying, I've just got a problem picking a Newcastle attacker because I just don't like watching Newcastle and hoping for points.
Yeah.
It's a bit like having Vardy, really, because like Vardy, when you watch him play, he's hardly in the game. But eventually he's going to get one chance, like he did at Sheffield United, and he goes and scores. There's an inevitability about it, and that's what Wilson is with Newcastle. Like, Wilson will get goals over Christmas. It's going to happen, but you're not going to enjoy your viewing whilst watching those points go in, are you? Because it's going to be pretty miserable football, and that shouldn't be a reason not to pick him, I guess. But
he already has Bamford, so I guess maybe if you wanted to be a bit risky, but then I don't know, it's a tough one. No, I mean DCL's just he's ticking away, isn't he?
He's not going to get anything out of Chelsea, I don't think. But
no.
After that, you'd back him against most opponents. I mean, Chelsea are the best. Chelsea and Spurs at the moment are the defences that are giving away the fewest opportunities. City as well. As long as you're not playing those teams, Calvert-Lewin's going to. He's got 11 and 11, hasn't he? I mean, he has got City at home in game week 16, and he's got Chelsea game week 12. So he has got tough fixtures. But Leicester, Arsenal, Sheffield United, he can score in all those games.
Yeah.
Sheffield United, his former club. I think he'll do well in that game. So I wouldn't sell him with that game in mind.
Okay, so did my mods manage to count up how many Giroux to Aubameyangs that there were in terms of captaincy? If you guys could pop me that in the chat, and we'll just do one more question. Jaden says Giroux, Wilson or Adams for the Christmas period. Mark, Giroux was your pick today. Would you stick by him as your Christmas pick over one of the other two?
The problem is he's going to miss games because Abraham's probably going to get game week 13, I would say. I don't think Giroux's going to be flogged and play all 4 games. Oh, so reluctantly, I'll have to say Wilson, won't I? Because it's not going to. You're not going to enjoy the points. Don't think you're going to have any fun out of it. But get Wilson in and just bank the points and accept it. So yes, all right, get Wilson.
Okay, so we had a draw. Still, so whoever says whether Aubameyang or Giroud should be our captain this week next, that will be. There we go. Nahal. There they go. With Giroud. Giroud.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. At least I haven't got to say the name of that Arsenal player again.
Okay, that is us set then. So we have Darlow in goal, Vestergaard, James, Trent, Jota, Rafinha, Aubameyang, KDB, Bamford, Ings and Giroud as captain. And then on the bench we have Neto, Reguilon and Alioski. So that is our 1 week wildcard. So it's going to be very interesting to see how it does. I just love how crazy it is. So hopefully we can be our most of.
Do you think your Nana will be happy with that?
I think she'll be happy with that. Yeah. She'll be happy there's a Spurs player in there, I think, because my granddad was a Spurs fan, right. So and my godfather, so that half of the family are Spurs and half of the family are Arsenal. Oh dear. Okay. So she's kind of down the middle somewhere. So I think it's whoever's in the room she likes to help support. But she does like Kane and she does like Rashford for all of his work that he does. Exactly. So yes, I think oh yes, and she likes Nketiah as well for Arsenal.
Right, Eddie. Okay.
Yeah, we have a little running joke that when he kind of runs on and scores and he does the ringing sign, that he's actually ringing her up on the telephone.
Right. Okay.
So
fair enough.
Yeah,
so I like him as well. He just doesn't play enough, does he?
No. I think that the youngsters maybe not coming on enough at the right times. Really, it's more as a kind of last ditch. We need somebody to try and help turn the game around, rather than it being a case of, having them start in a confident side where they can be, learning and growing and things.
Did you, Az doesn't like Nketiah much. He said on Black Box once that he didn't even think he was a footballer. So what I've done, I've saved that. And then when Nketiah's winning the World Cup for England, I'm going to put it up on Twitter.
Well, maybe you can put it up on Twitter when he assists Aubameyang twice this week.
Yeah, that's not quite big enough, though. I want to wait for that World Cup winning goal that's inevitably.
Or Arsenal coming back from whatever position we're in now to winning the Premier League with.
Yeah, I think England winning the World Cup is probably more likely, to be honest, sadly, but I think it probably is. But yeah, maybe, we'll see. But yeah, so Az will live to regret that, I'm sure.
I'm sure he will. Well, thank you so much, Mark, for coming on the show. It means a tremendous amount to me, and everybody do go on over and check out the Black Box, FPL Black Box. I put a link in the description below.
We're on at 8 o'clock.
Oh, there you go.
Early, yeah. So I haven't got long. I've got to go straight into that.
I've got to go grab some tea, and it's usually me that is doing the Wildcats on a double stream, but unfortunately Jay's family isn't very well this week, so we had to cancel. But yes, I'll be looking forward to watching that then, Mark. Get me dinner in me and head on over to the Black Box, and you'll also be able to find Mark on Twitter. What's your handle on Twitter, Mark? So the people know.
God, I don't know. I'm such an old man when it comes to Twitter.
I'll chuck it in the description below
It's
for the people.
at FFS Scout. Well, at Fancy Football Scout _Mark. FFS Scout _Mark. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay then, guys, well, thank you all for joining us. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you've enjoyed the content today. We try and do this most weeks with guests, so you know, might be one of you guys at some point making it on. And again, thank you very, very much for voting me in the Football Content Awards, and that bronze medal award means so much to me. So it's goodbye from me, and it's goodbye from Mark.
Thanks for having me on, Nim. That's great.
No worries. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.